Yeah, thanks so much, Jen. The mental health department at BC Children's is a very busy place. Last year, they handled over 16,000 patient visits. Joining me now is Dr. Jana Davidson, one of the doctors at BC Children's who sees a lot of those kids who come through the door. She's the psychiatrist in chief at BC Children's Hospital. Jana, first of all, thank you so much for joining me this morning.
Oh, thank you, Nadia. Great to be here.
Let's talk about the kids, because when people think about mental health, they often don't think about children.
Right. So that's really true, but mental health is a serious concern for children. We know that about 3 to 4 children in every classroom of 30 in this province likely meets a diagnosis for a mental disorder. And they aren't getting the help they need, and runs like this really help us increase supports for them.
Why is it that these kids are still flying under the radar?
I think a lot of it has to do with people not being aware, and they attribute symptoms of mental illness to bad behavior. And unfortunately, kids get labeled that way. And so we've been working very hard to increase people's knowledge about mental illness in children and increasing resources for them.
In terms of increasing resources, obviously runs like this go a long way towards helping. How much of a difference does this run make?
This run is huge. This run supports a lot of our online resource development. And so resources like Kelty Mental Health Resource website, the Centre, Foundry BC, which we support in collaboration with the Foundry, have all benefited from support from the Child Run. And we've gone on to develop other resources for kids and families to use throughout the province. They're used all over the province, which is exciting. And in fact, some of them are used across the country. We're known to have the best health literacy platform in the country.
For a parent or a caregiver who might be watching this now and they might be in need of those resources, where can they go?
Well, there's a couple of places they can go. We have the Kelty Mental Health Resource Centre, where there are youth and parents and residents. These are people with lived experience of mental illness who are available by phone or email to speak with them directly or visit in person. We have the Kelty Mental Health website, which is www.keltymentalhealth.ca, and we have the Foundry BC website, which is foundrybc.ca. That one is for youth. The Kelty Mental Health Resource Centre is for families, and we'll soon be developing another resource website for professionals, which will contain all of the professional resources. So we're just delighted to do that for kids and families in this province.
And you must be excited about this race.
I'm very excited about this race. We love this race. It's a highlight of my year every year. I love to come out and see the kids and families and all those that are supporting mental health in BC.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Dr. Davidson, we have thousands of people who are going to be here today. Oh my goodness, it's already starting to fill up. If you want to make a donation, head on over to raceforthekidsbc.com. You can make a donation over there, or you can come on out. Why not come on down and join us here? You can make a donation here on site. For now, though, I'll throw it back to you, Jen.
Oh, what an incredible story. You are never alone. There is help available. We asked our online community their questions related to mental health, and Dr. Jana Davidson is here to answer some of those questions. Thanks for being here, Doctor.
Oh, my pleasure. Such a great weekend.
The first question is, how prevalent are mental health challenges in children?
Well, people would be surprised, but the prevalence is such that there are about 3 to 4 children in every classroom of 30 in this province that would meet criteria for a mental illness. And we know that 70% of mental illness in the lifetime begins to occur before the age of 16.
That's right.
So that's all adult mental illnesses. Wow. So it happens early. Yeah.
Second question submitted is, I'm open about my mental health condition, but my mom says I shouldn't be. What should I do, and where can I get help?
Well, talking about your lived experience with mental illness is a very personal decision. Mm-hmm. Parents are often concerned about their children disclosing that information because of their concerns about stigma and what will happen to their children. But there's really great support for young people who are trying to figure this out through our Kelty Mental Health Resource Centre. We have youth and residents there who young people can talk with or email. And and parents can talk with and or email parents in residence, and these are parents of who have children who had lived experience. And it's really a helpful guide for young people to understand how best to talk about their mental illness and when they can do that.
You mentioned stigma, and that's our next question. Why do mental illnesses have such a huge stigma?
It's sad.
Yeah.
I think mostly it's built on people just not understanding and knowing, and so people have a perspective of mental illness that's very stereotyped, like, one flew over the cuckoo's nest.
Right.
And people don't see that the vast majority of those that experience mental illness are just like you and I, children, youth, adults, and they work, they play, they live, but they struggle with mental illness. It's getting better, and the more we can educate people, the more people are open about their own struggles with mental illness, I think the better it will be, and that's starting to happen.
And really quickly, if I have a friend who has a mental health condition, how can I best support and be there for them?
Well, the most important thing is to connect that friend to a caring adult who can help them. The other ways you can help them are to refer them to the resources available here in BC. Foundry BC Online, Kelty Mental Health Online are great resources for young people to learn about mental illness.
Doctor, thank you so much. Please
very
call
welcome.
310-BCCH.
Hi, I'm Avery. I'm a heart patient and BC Children's Hospital 2019 champion child. Thank you for supporting Miracle Weekend and helping kids like me.